studied in Florence, Italy for fall semester for 4 months. I think the most fun I had there was cliff diving in the Amalfi Coast. It was like amazing. It was beautiful. The water is clear, and me jumping off like a 10-foot cliff. When you're up there, it seems like you're jumping off like the Empire State Building. It's scary, but that was the best time of my life. I went to Ibiza, which is a little island of Spain, and it's like known to be like a big party island, which it is. It's like it's an island like strictly for partying, and the beaches there were like really nice too. I also went to a lot of cities in Italy. I wanted to study abroad because, well, I knew back then that would be like a life-changing experience. Everyone who says that they went abroad, or actually, I mean, everyone who went abroad before, they always tell you that like it's one of the best experiences in life that you can have.
I studied abroad at Thammasat University in Thailand in the summer of 2011. I always wanted to go to Thailand, and because I'm a transfer student, I had to narrow my options down in terms of when and where I could study abroad. So when I was looking through the programs offered, I noticed that Thailand was one of them, and I figured, hey, why not? I'll never go there on my own. It was a little bit odd getting off the plane and being rushed right into Bangkok because it's such a huge city. And you know, the traffic there, and just everybody speaks Thai. English is spoken there, obviously, like it is around most of the world, but it's mainly Thai, so there was a lot of lost in translation moments. And then just in terms of getting used to the university life there and all that, but after about 2 weeks it got a lot easier. I got to ride on elephants and play with baby tigers. I think they were Bengal tigers, I don't really remember, but either way, I think it was only 6 months old and it was so cute. Yeah, I was a little bit more nervous with the elephants just because they're so big, and I'd never ridden on an elephant before. I'd only seen them from the zoo or at the zoo. So it was a little bit crazy getting on top of an elephant, sitting in a basket with somebody steering it. That was kind of mind-blowing, but I mean, I was fine, obviously. Yeah, a lot of cultural differences. I mean, just ranging from simple things like food to language, which are pretty obvious. But I'd say probably the biggest cultural difference I witnessed was the first thing that I witnessed in Bangkok. Just getting inside a taxi cab. It's like taking your life in your hands, because the drivers are insane. They go like 65 miles an hour in and out of traffic, get right up to people's bumpers, honk. It's just like, it was crazy. It was like the Fast and the Furious Bangkok style.
I studied abroad at the University of Melbourne in Australia, and then also the University of Sussex in England. I was in Australia for 6 months, and I was in England for 3 months. To Australia the fall quarter of my junior year, which was the semester 2 in Australia, and then I went to England the summer after my junior year. I wanted to go to Australia because I felt like it had so much to offer. It had big cities, it had beautiful beaches and rainforests, and it just kind of had everything all in one place, and also had really great travel opportunities around New Zealand and Southeast Asia. I wanted to go to the UK because, again, it was English speaking, and I'd never been to Europe before, so I thought this was a great opportunity to take classes for my major and to also just get an opportunity to travel around Europe. In Europe, I went to Scotland, Ireland, England, Germany, Czech Republic, Italy, Spain, France, probably a few others. I traveled pretty much every weekend, and it was a lot of fun. In Australia, I was really lucky and met a really great group of international friends, and we took a 3-week trip down the East Coast, which is full of just gorgeous beaches and rainforests. I also scuba dived in the Great Barrier Reef, and I was just swimming along, and this massive fish came up and about that big, and freaked me out, but then the instructor started petting him, so I pet him, and turns out he's this really nice fish, and his name's Elvis, and he always comes and plays with the scuba divers in that area. And actually, when I was in Australia, I got to take a trip to Bali as well. And there I was riding an elephant to this elephant farm, and the instructor that was kind of directing the elephant was Indonesian. And it was really great because we got to just ride the elephant around this little track. Then at the end, he said to me that he was going to have the elephant do tricks, but I can't tell anyone, and he doesn't let them do this to just any customer, but he's doing some tricks for me. And so we had the elephant get on his hind legs and get on this little tiny stool with all 4 of his massive feet on this little stool, and then the elephant picked me up by his trunk and kind of held me sideways by his trunk, and he did all these weird things, and the Indonesian man is just yelling these orders at the elephants. I had no idea what was coming next, and I actually didn't even know what was going on at the time because I was up on top of the elephant, but I got some really great pictures out of it.
I studied in Scotland at the University of Edinburgh for the 2010-2011 school year. I chose Edinburgh because Rome was impacted and I didn't speak Italian. Over spring break I went to Greece by myself, and at one point I was trying to go from the island of Naxos to Crete. And the port that all the ferries come in on Crete is called Heraklia. So I bought a ticket to go to Iraklia that left at midnight and arrived at 2 in the morning. And then I hitchhiked in the back of this red pickup truck. And the only person in this group of Greeks, all middle-aged, who spoke any English at all, was like, so why are you here? Why did you come here? And I explained to him that I wanted to see the Palace of Knossos. And he said, yeah, but that's on Crete. Why are you here? So I went to the wrong island, basically. 2 in the morning. Nowhere to stay, nowhere to sleep. Didn't know what I was doing. I got cheated out of so much money to get off that island. Ridiculous. January, in my kitchen in Edinburgh, I was trying to make this Italian dessert called strufoli. It's really, really tasty. These little deep fried dough balls with sprinkles and honey icing. And I'd never deep fried anything before, and so I poured the oil in a pan, put it on the stove, and it started to smoke, and I was like, okay, maybe that's normal. And then it went boom, like in the movies, and burst into flame, and I panicked, and I put the whole pot of burning oil in the sink, turned it on, and basically I exploded the kitchen. The paramedics in Scotland are very, very nice. Got a blanket out of the experience, you know. It's great. The winter, their last winter, was quite harsh, even by their standards. So when it started snowing, I got laughed at a lot. And even like when the leaves changed in the fall, I also got laughed at. The slang. Oh my god, the slang. Don't ever go to like Britain and say, oh sure, I'll go out, just let me put pants on. Pants are boxers. I got the weirdest looks, and no one would explain why, because they know I was American, you know?